Father's Day is right around the corner, and we have spent some time here at Lizzie G's curating some really cool gifts for the men in our lives. In fact, we brought in one of our favorite dudes, my Uncle Rick, here to talk about a new line of cast iron skillets we brought in. These cast iron skillets are made by a brand called Finex. Finex is Lodge's Cadillac line of cast iron pots and pans. And Rick's gonna tell you some of his favorite features in using these cooking.
Hi folks, I'm excited to talk to you about the Finex brand. I love to cook with cast iron skillets. It brings food to a different level, it's consistent, it's easy, and you'll find out it's actually a pretty easy cleanup. So why Finex? Well, take a look. The folks at Finex have polished the cast iron skillets to a very shiny bronze, and you can see that as lids takes off the top. It's not your classic black looking cast iron skillet. So that's number one. Number two, this comes pre-seasoned and ready to use out of the box. So you don't have to mess with it before you use it. Also, you look at the handle. This handle is called the Speed Cool handle. It stays at room temperature while you're cooking. So you can use it with your bare hand and move the skillet around. Now the skillet itself will stay scorching hot, so do be careful about the skillet. And lastly, this has a lifetime guarantee. So if there's any issues, take it back to the manufacturer. So what can you cook with a cast iron skillet? You can cook meat and veggies and anything else you want. I love to cook chicken, whether it's the chicken strips that I buy at the grocery store or the chicken thighs, sear them on both sides, and they are a special treat. Let me talk a little bit about smoke points before I move on, because it's very important when you get into the steak. Know your smoke points for the different oils. For example, olive oil is a great oil to use, but it has a smoke point of around 350 degrees. Maybe a little bit higher, but as you get too high, it begins to burn and it causes a real problem. For the higher temperature foods like steaks, you'll need to go something with like a canola oil. So chicken is great. Steaks, that's the national meat of Texas. Sear the steak on both sides. If you are in the mood for a steak and don't want to light up the back outdoor grill, the Finex will really do you proud on the steaks. And veggies is another thing I love to cook with the Finex. Simply add a little bit of olive oil to the skillet, put your veggies in it, and begin the sauteing process. If you want to really spice it up, cook your steaks or your hamburgers or your chicken first, and add a little bit of olive oil and get the bits of what's left over the meat, and let that also help to spice up the vegetables. If you're not into chicken, you're not into steaks, how about some shrimp? You can do the very same thing with shrimp that you do with chicken. Just be sure that you take it easy on the cooking time. 1 to 2 minutes per side is all it's needed for the shrimp. It is a wonderful tool to use for cooking. One thing I will mention lastly, because it's my favorite, is hamburgers. Putting a sear on both sides of a hamburger really brings it to a different level. If you want a real comfort food, put your favorite condensed soup into the Finex after you've taken the burgers out. Use a spatula to get the bits of burger back into the soup, and what you're doing is creating a wonderful gravy to go over the burgers. So enough for the cooking. It's a little bit about the cleanup process. One of the things that a lot of folks don't like about cast iron skillets is the cleanup process. Well, Finex makes it really easy. You have a maintenance cleanup kit that you can use, and the process I'll go through with you very briefly. Once you've finished cooking, once the food is out of the skillet and it's still hot, pour a little bit of water into the skillet, just enough to cover the bottom, and then do nothing. Go eat, go watch TV, go read a book, do whatever you want to do. When you're ready, come back to it, take the skillet over the sink, pour the water out, take your spray nozzle from the sink, and spray the Finex. It may be good. You still may have a few spots of baked on food. If you do, take the Finex scraper or the scour pad and gently remove that food. Lastly, take your hand and make sure everything is smooth, because you want to have a smooth skillet when you're finished. Take it back to the stovetop, put a dab of oil in it, a paper towel, rub it all the way around it so it's coated, and set it on the stovetop, and you're ready for the next meal. Finex is a wonderful gift for anybody who wants to up their cooking and look good doing it.
We're here for the looking good doing it. Speaking of, they come in great gift boxes. We can wrap these, make you look good given this gift, and send you right out the door. Don't forget, Father's Day, right around the corner.